shot of someone that comes to your mind?
Bono.
Sorry?
Bono.
Okay, Bono, okay.
Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin. Oh, you're one of those guys back there, right? Okay. Going aging yourself here a little bit.
A little bit.
Okay, just a little bit. Okay, what else?
Stones.
The Sultans.
No, Stones.
Rolling Stones.
Mick Jagger.
Oh, the Mick Jagger guy, right? The big mouth guy. That's the guy? Okay, so we ain't got aging ourselves here. You're a young man. That's too young to know that stuff.
There aren't rock stars anymore.
Really? Who else? One more.
Kiss.
Kiss. Oh man, this out here have no rock stars in your history. It's interesting how no one said Kingsley Grant. I'm really, but I didn't hear you even say your name. How come it's interesting that when we think of rock star, we have this image, this person. Who defines? Who says they are rock stars? I guess you're saying that right now, but you didn't even call your own name. How come? Is it that you don't consider yourself to be a rock star? But in this industry, you need rock stars to be really a dominant player in real estate or whatever industry you find yourself in. But when I think of a rock star, I'm thinking something different than what you're thinking. See, I am thinking about a rock star. That's what I'm thinking about. See, rock star for me is really more than just a person that's on a platform and a stage that comes, they blow in and they blow out. I'm thinking about you. Rock, solid, consistent, doing that thing over and over and over again and knowing that this is who you are. Rock is made up of that kind of component. Now, a star is that which shines and points to something. It's a bright light. Have you ever looked up and when it's really dark, you can see the stars? Maybe you have to go out to Miami, I guess, to really see stars sometimes. But I'm in Jamaica and I see stars all the time because we didn't have all this electricity and all this stuff when I was growing up. But stars shone bright. Vanessa, you're a star in your own right. Right? And so you should say, Vanessa, the rock star, you're solid. And Jose probably would say, yes, she is. Okay? So the idea is, what I want to do today is when you leave here in the next 15 minutes, that you yourselves become a rock star. Because that's what you got to be, a player. And if you can't see yourself as that, you're not going to make it in any industry per se. It's how you think, it's how you see yourself. And you look in the mirror in the morning, you say, hey baby, you're the rock star. I feel good. I'm hating myself right here, right? But you've got to be able to think that way. But you can't just think that way unless you have something that makes you even feel that way. What's your rock? Your product? What's your rock? Who's your rock? I hope what you're selling, but I hope more so it's you. Because you're not just selling a product, a property, you're selling you. And therefore the four shades of dominance selling I want to talk about is really the, I've listed on the board because we can't cover all four in our time. We'll be here all day. But I want to cover just basically two, and really the most important part of the four is what I'm going to mention today, those two. As you know, people do business with those they what?
Like.
Say it here.
Like.
Know, like, and trust. How does your customer get to know you in 5 to 10 minutes? Because most times they make a decision about you in the very first 3 seconds.
Yes.
You sell that thing in first 3 seconds, not 3 hours or 3 days, it's 3 seconds. And people need to get a chance to get to know you. But how do you get to know you in 3 seconds? They know you because you take a time to know them. And make it about them. So if you can establish a front, you will already be on your way to be a rock star. Make it about them so they can know you, like you, and trust you. Okay. You have heard the first, or may have heard the curse of knowledge. Which simply says, the knowledge of your industry and your terminology, you know that stuff inside out. But sometimes we assume everybody else knows what we know. And that is not so. It's amazing. In conversation, we just take it for granted. Everybody know that terminology, that word, but we don't take time to help them understand that, to know me, that I'm in about them. I want them to know what it is they're getting into. I bought a house 18, 19 years ago. And my salesperson, he took the time to get to know, I think he was kind of smart. He get to know my better half, my wife. And begin to this kind of male relationship and tell her about the house and the kitchen and the cooking. He's from Jamaica too, so talk about all the dishes, and she could almost smell the aroma. Right? He was trying to connect with her, because he knew if he connect with her and sold her, then you know what? He sold me. And he did that. But it's 20 years later and we still have a relationship. Everywhere we see him and he see us, we can connect together. Because he took the time to break things down, because future clients are worried, they're scared. They think you're going to rip them off and take them to dry cleaners. We all have that in our mind when we go to buy things. Who is it that's going to try to get me today? So we are on our defenses right away. We got to break through that, right? So you have lots of knowledge, and therefore what happens is there is a disconnect that takes place. Therefore, I simply saying, I want to suggest, is an interpersonal connection. It's interpersonal. It's how do you connect with that person? I had a client just yesterday. I was coaching him through the idea of confidence building. And we were talking about the idea of what he may not realize he's projecting. He walked in the room, and immediately I could read his body language and say, you know what? He is not a confident person. If he was telling me something, I would be questioning whether or not he's going to be on the up and up. He walked in, he's kind of slouched. His eyes was not making connection. And his handshake was one of those. Yeah, one of those butterflies handshakes, right? And I'm saying, So immediately I say, I know what I got to work on with him today. So I begin to listen and talk and everything. Then I said to him, let's kind of walk back what happened today. You walked in this room, and immediately he told me that you were not confident. How do I know that? Well, you walked in. But you see what happened? Rock, if you know who you are, you can walk in like a rock. And then you can shine like a star. So I was trying to help him to come in and walk into any presentation, any place as that rock star. So I said, make eye contact. Let me know you're into me. 3-second rule. Immediately, if I can shift that, I've just sold that person at least a percentage of what it is I'm selling him or her. And then I say to him, when you walk in, just kind of feel a bit taller. I said, I'm not a tall guy, but I can just raise my shoulders a little bit, and I feel tall. So when I talk, it feels, if you just try this for a second. As you're sitting there, you just sit up straight for a second, would you? Just raise your shoulder, just like that. Just like a fraction, just raise your shoulder. How does that feel?
Cool. Good.
Right. It almost creates in you, your whole physiology is impacted just by raising your shoulder. Imagine you walk up to your client and just walk in and say, hi, how are you? You are feeling like a rock. They now are pulled into that. You're magnetic. So you're making connection with that person because there is a huge hurdle to get over immediately to start. And you got to cross that hurdle.
Can your handshake be too strong? Because I have a very strong handshake, and I don't know how that.
And so you can also, if you step very high and you don't even recognize that, your client or your customer can almost tell you because they look at you a certain way, and you can say, you can just play it off. So you know what? I know I've had a very strong handshake. I'm so much into you. I want to make certain that you know that I have your best interest. As I grip your hand, it's so I want to grip everything for you. So you play it off, right? There you go, right? Is that good, right? You use it.